Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And hope you're having a good day thus far. And hopefully you had a great weekend. And Denise and Nativity, good morning. Nick and Savlana, Coralie, good to have you on with us this morning. John and Roma. And Shannon, good to have you on. Linda, many others, of course. Their names don't come up, but I'm saying hi to everyone. And good morning, Keith and Inga, Susan, Kathy, Elaine, Wasila, Monique, and did I say it right, Slavana? Bernice, Mary Jane, and Jeanette, good morning to you. Okay, another week. Here we go. Jeanette, bonjour. And from Missouri, our friend Alan, how are you? Ezra and George. Sorry, how are you? Sorry. Eric and Jordan. And you guys are great. We appreciate it. Jerry from Nouveau-Brunswick and Yolande. Bonjour, Lori, Marilyn, Judy, and Ruth, Del, so many. Good crowd. Sharon and Lise, Barbara, Juliet. Okay, I'm going. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to talk this morning about changing fuels. Okay? Changing fuels. At the end of the day, the best thing you can do is change your fuel. If you're eating sugar and crappy carbs, you're burning bad fuel. You'll live, but you won't thrive. Big difference. Change your fuel. So put your hand up of who's starting with me on Thursday, which is October 1st. We're going to do the reset. And many of you are already doing it. We're just encouraging you. We'll just start up a little pump our tires group on Thursday, October 1st. We'll go through October. Somebody said, well, there's Thanksgiving in Canada. I know. But didn't Trudeau cancel Thanksgiving? So we don't have to worry about. No, and I understand that, okay? But, what month would be good for our American friends? Thanksgiving is in November. December is Christmas. And so for those who want, and we'll just pump your tires up even more if you let us know whether you want to do the reset. But let me talk about doing a change of fuel. Okay, so I'll use an illustration. Okay, I'll use an illustration. Go to the airport. Now, there's not a lot of things flying in Sudbury. I don't know if they laid everybody off at the airport because there's hardly any of the airlines flying. A little bit, but not much. It's almost strange to see a plane come over, and we're right on the path. Our home here in Sudbury is right on the path to the airport. The helicopters come from the airport right over our house to go to the hospital. Okay, so the orange ambulance, it has a beeline, and that's still going, and it never stopped in COVID. But what we didn't see, because we're on the pathway of the planes coming in to land here in Sudbury from Toronto, mostly. Anyways, if you, in your mind here this morning, if you would come with me to the airport, because I'm going to give you an illustration. If you come with me to the airport, so think of any airport that you know of, And before the plane takes off, they refuel. Now, could the plane stop at a gas station and put the fuel that you use in your car, 87 octane, or, some of them are 91 and some of them are 93? No. Jets need jet fuel. And that's really important for you to understand. A lot of people just don't understand fuel because what they're used to is calories. The whole nutrition field for the last 100 years have talked about calories. Calories in and calories out. It's not calories, guys. It's the type of fuel. And you ought to change fuel if you haven't done it already. Let me just give you a study that I picked out on the weekend. Let me just see here. Listen to this. For every 2,000 calories, because a lot of people do that, and a lot of diets are based on that, on reducing calories, calories in, calories out. But for every 2,000 calories, okay? Now, the average person consumes much more than 2,000 calories. Listen to this stat. I saw it on the weekend, just came out. For the average person, American adult, there was an American study of 2,000 calories. They are consuming 15 in a day, 15 teaspoons of sugar. 15. Now, a lot of people are consuming much more than that. So what I talk about is changing fuels from 87 octane, which you can put in your car. Your SUV will run on it, unleaded, to rocket fuel, jet fuel. It's a different fuel that's put in those airplanes. It's not what you put in your car. Jet fuel. The difference is, what's the difference? Is it calories? Nope. It's not calories. The difference in the octane is nutrients. When I say protein is king and saturated fat is king, I mean it. The reset is changing fuels. A lot of people, and I understand that, look at it as a weight loss program. It certainly is. It certainly is. It's the healthiest weight loss program because what you're doing is changing fuels. You're changing. You're going to rocket fuel. You have to put that up in your computer up here. Because our thinking in nutrition, like I say, for the last 100 years, has been variety. Has been, you can eat anything you want in moderation. Because the whole premise was wrong. The premise was your body likes any kind of fuel. and you will survive. But we live in a different world today. We live in a completely different world nutritionally. We've changed our fuel from high octane jet fuel to crappy carbohydrate fuel. And the aftermath of that has been disaster. Disaster. So part of my plan for you is to change your concept, change your thinking. Get rid of that stinking thinking. It's not calories. It's quality, not quantity. Quality is everything. I'm going to give you a couple of clues in terms of symptoms when you know you're changing fuel and your body is thriving because of it. Now listen, if you are metabolically challenged, 88%, remember, I always repeat that number. 88% of the population, 88%, are consuming the wrong fuel. And they have metabolic syndrome because of it. The biggest problem today, it's not COVID. It's even COVID. Is metabolic syndrome. The only people that get sick, even old people. They don't even get sick if they're metabolically healthy. This virus has exposed our society. We're very unwell. Very unwell. So the message about nutrition is forgotten. It's politics. It's money. Follow the money. The big food industry, do you think they're interested in you changing fuel? Do you think the pharmaceutical industry is interested in you changing fuel? No, they want to keep it status quo. Status quo. I was reading an article this weekend that said Procter and Gamble, you don't hear the name as much anymore. They're still around. Procter and Gamble. I remember when I was a kid, I remember that name. The makers of Crisco, vegetable fatty oil, vegetable oil. They called it vegetable, had nothing to do with vegetables, had everything to do with industrialized seed oils. They made Crisco, and they gave, at the time in 1961, they gave the American Heart Association $1.7 million. I was reading the article on the weekend. They gave the American Heart Association $1.7 million. That would be like, what would that be like today? In the 1960s, 1.7 would be $1 billion, wouldn't it? When I was a kid, we never even said $1 billion. I got a grandson that always, when he exaggerates, he's always saying, well, that's $1 billion and a gazillion and, But when we were kids, $1 million, if you were a millionaire, that was a rare thing. But there was, I don't know, I don't think there was ever billionaires, as far as I know. But in 1961, Procter and Gamble changed the American Heart Association. They bought them out with $1.7 million. And the American Heart Association started the education. And remember, doctors were gods. For my generation and older a little bit, doctors are gods, don't question. So when the American Heart Association said, because they got $1.7 million put in their pockets, they said, you know what? Let's stop eating bacon and eggs. No more butter. Butter gives you cholesterol, gives you fat. It's going to put fat in your arteries. And the whole world went hook, line, and sinker for it. Nobody questioned them. In those days, they were the ones teaching dietitians. They were teaching them in the schools. So the American Heart Association, who questioned them? I like to question people. You're telling me something? Let me question that. That's what science is, guys. You know when they say the science is settled? That is the stupidest thing you ever heard in your life. Don't ever listen to that. When a politician tells you the science is settled, well, that's not science. By nature, it's not science. Science is never settled. The day Dr. Martin, stop reading, stop studying, stop looking into things, always questioning myself even, is the day I stop becoming a scientist. This is why when they tell you, oh, the science is settled. No, it's not. It's not science if it's settled. We know so much more about nutrition today than we did. Listen, I took 2,000 hours of nutrition in the 1970s. I thought I was smart. You remember, is it Colonel Klink? Hogan's Heroes? I knew nothing. Nothing. No, but nobody questioned them. So we started on the path of bad fuel. No more rocket fuel. Don't eat that. You need to eat frequently. You need to eat, well, who better to say that than the food industry? Oh, you know what? You need to eat more frequently. Oh! Brought to you by the makers of food. They got away from the farms, making their own food. Folks, the results have been disaster. Disaster for our society. And when you question them, you're going to get a lot of pushback. Lots of pushback. They don't like being questioned. Isn't it wonderful? that you and I can talk to each other via social media? I feel like John the Baptist in the wilderness. And the food industry are the Pharisees. The pharmaceutical companies are the Pharisees. They didn't like John the Baptist. He was trampling in their territory. He was yelling out, repent, for the kingdom of God is near. Guys, change fuels. Your body was meant to work on jet fuel. Eggs, meat, and cheese. Get back to the farm. Get back to the farm. I'm the farmer's best friend. Is me. Tell your farmer friends about Dr. Martin. I'm serious. No, but really, your body was made for that. That's a big problem. And so there are people on the reset, okay? I'm changing fuels for them. I'm forcing the issue. That's what it is. I mean, it does a lot of things, of course, but primarily at the cellular level, your little mitochondria. You know what mitochondria are? Mitochondria are your battery packs within your cells. You have heart cells, you have muscle cells, skin cells, liver cells, heart, you name it. They all have a little battery inside of them. They're called mitochondria. And when you change fuels, your mitochondria go, what? What? What is that? Oh, but do they ever like it? Not at first, because for some people who are metabolically challenged, you got to give it a bit. If you've been eating the wrong way for 30 or 40 years, your body goes, oh, what is that? I like it, but I'd never seen that before. You're eating a dozen eggs a day? Eggs is rocket fuel. Steak is jet fuel. What's even better than that? You can put somebody up on the moon with a steak in terms of fuel. It's rocket fuel. And your little mitochondria in your cells will thank you for it. Okay, now let me give you a couple of symptoms that you should look for, because these are things that happen. And, a lot of times, I really try and educate. And people don't give up. Don't give up. Your body is worth it. Don't give up. Don't be too hard on yourself. As I've said, when you're changing fuels, it's simple, but it's not easy. When your cells get nutrient-dense fuels, food, your body adapts. It's not easy for your body at first, especially if my name is Tony and I'm a carboholic. You first have to admit that. I've never been to an AA meeting, but apparently, the first step is to admit it. And if you're a carboholic, your body needs to adapt. to the new fuel. So, you got brain fog? Some people, until they adapt, they find with the reset their energy is low. But they were so used to burning another fuel, your body has to adapt. And I tell them, look, stick with it. Stick with it. Your body's changing. You have to trust the process a little bit, because it's not easy, first of all. And, some people said, oh, I got a headache, or I don't feel quite as good. Your body's adapting. Understand that. Drink more water. Let the fuel change your cells. And let your mitochondria accept the new nutrition. Sometimes your body fights. Your body's not used to it. So, what is that? What are you doing to me? I like that crappy sugar you give me all the time. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's a piece of bread. It's not crappy sugar. Yes, it is. Bread is sugar. Look at it as sugar. It's not. It's going to be sugar in 5 seconds. So your cells like that 5-second stuff. Instant. It's like a baby. Babies have no patience. They're hungry. Wah, 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 wah. Right? They're hungry. They don't know how to, be patient and wait. Your cells are so used to having, especially your brain. Your brain is so used to that sugar. Look, your brain will take any fuel you give it. And it's the master, so it's headquarters. It goes, you just had a chocolate bar? Come here. Sugar, come here. You had a piece of bread? You had some rice? Whatever? Hey, get over here. I get the first portion. It was like when I was growing up with my big brothers. We had a big family and one toaster. I was down on the food chain. I was number 6. I had 3 big brothers. They dominated the toaster when I was a kid, meaning that you waited your turn. Those 3 big guys, your brain is like that. The rest of the body waits your turn. I get the first fruit of your food. It's headquarters. 20%. The brain goes, it's like tithing, except it's worse. It's 20%. Guys, your brain is going to do an adaptation. You might struggle for a little wee bit. And your energy is low, and your brain fog hasn't gone away. And you're still hungry. Because your body's adapting. It's used to being fed all the time. True or false? The more you eat, the more you want to eat. True or false? It's true. The more quantity you eat, the more you want to eat, if it's the wrong fuel. The more carbs you eat, the more you... What do you think obesity is? Think about it. I mean, we're consuming, so much more total food today because we are choosing the wrong fuel. It's simple as that. So when you change fuels, your body has to make an adaptation. For some, it's not as hard. But some, they're hungry. If you're hungry, your body is still adapting to the change of fuel. Be patient. For some people, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I was talking to a lady the other day, and she doesn't do well with intermittent fasting. I said, well, don't do it until your body's adapted. What? I said, we love intermittent fasting at the Martin Clinic, but if you don't do well with it, then don't do it until you can. Just extend your hours if you can do it. Let your body adapt to fuel. You're changing fuel. I don't know much about cars. One of my neighbors has got a diesel engine. Well, you can't put gasoline in a normal unleaded gasoline in diesel. It's a different fuel altogether. But I want you to shift to rocket fuel. That's the best thing for you. Eggs, meat, and cheese. I know I sound crazy, but I'm not. Mitochondria, the battery packs. So 4 things to watch for. Energy, until your body's adapted. Brain fog, until your body's adapted. Hunger, until your body's adapted. And intermittent fasting. Some people can go 18 hours and don't even fizz on them without eating. If you're not like that, don't worry about that. Your body hasn't adapted. Don't worry about that. Let your body adapt to the new fuel. Okay. So again, thanks for watching. Okay? Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Share this with your friends. Give them some teaching. You can influence, not everybody, but you can influence the people that, not everybody. You can bring a horse to water. You can't make them drink it. But constantly, don't give up on your family and friends. A lot of times they hear you. They just haven't done it. But be a little evangelist out there. And questions, no problem. If you're not part of the Martin Clinic Facebook group, join that thousands and thousands that are in that group. We appreciate that too. And what a community. If you want to sign up, I don't know if we're going to do a sign up officially. Let me talk to Brandy. But if you do, just sort of give us a heads up on the Martin Clinic Facebook group for doing the reset together. Okay? Just because, I don't know if it'll be special. But anybody wants to join us, then let us know on that Facebook group. Okay. Love you guys. God bless you. Talk to you soon.